Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you're having a lovely weekend. Today I would like to discuss future motion and the one wheel just a little bit more because there is so much material here. I swear they just keep giving you gold to work with when they are explaining to you why they need to be the only ones that work on repair because they're the ones that'll be able to keep you safe. You're too stupid to keep your own self safe. I talked about this in a couple of videos I've done over the past few days where they have designed a $2,200 electric skateboard that you cannot replace the battery on yourself. You can't even unplug the battery yourself because if you unplug the battery, you will brick the device. And the reason that they give for this is something that I've read in one of my follow-up videos where they said that it is fundamentally unsafe to modify it. We also have the engineers who designed the battery system and designed it from scratch to ensure the highest level of safety. We sourced the highest level components. We've engineered an incredibly robust battery module design and invested heavily in advanced test fixtures for quality and all sorts of just corporate self-wankery. And what I found interesting here is that there's nothing about the history of this company that demonstrates that they actually care that much about safety. I've talked about how the newer models of the one wheel have a much higher likelihood of ghosting than the older models of the one wheel, which were also more repairable, and how they don't really seem to have done anything about the fact that the older models ghosted a lot less than the newer models. You know, no recall, no fix, because again, it seems like they care more about making money off the new model than they do after actually fixing it. Fine, people have said, listen, that's not related to the electronics, Lewis. That's separate altogether. That doesn't mean they don't care about safety just because they release something that goes more off. All right. Well, the day that they released this piece of garbage PR notice, they also put out a video of somebody riding down the street doing a handstand. Like right here. Just dude doing a handstand riding down the street. But people have said, listen, Lewis, that doesn't mean they don't care about safety. And to be 100% clear, as I said in that video, I don't care if you do a handstand going down the street. All I ask for is a little bit of consistency. If you're saying that it is so dangerous for somebody to take a screwdriver to something they own to actually fix it, then I would not expect you to be the type of person at the exact same day post a video of a dude riding an electric vehicle on his hands when it can go 20 miles an hour down a street. It just doesn't really seem like that. It seems kind of like you want to impress people with what the device can do, even if that may not be the safest thing to do in the world. Again, I have no problem opening up my e-bike, opening up any of this stuff. I'm not doing a handstand going down the street. But again, subjective. Many people have said, listen, Lewis, this is not related to the electronics. That still doesn't prove that they don't care about safety and that they are just virtue signaling when they tell you that you cannot fix your own battery. Fine, mea culpa. Let's see what the insides of the devices look like. So when it comes to my electric bike that I have here, I have 3 batteries that are in parallel, they're matched, and they are charging through an XT90 connector. I charge at 15 amps max, which is about 5 amps per battery, and that XT90 connector is easily, conservatively rated, to be able to handle 50 to 60 amps RMS, no problem. And the max I'm ever feeding through it is 15 amps. And that connector, several years later, still looks good. I clean it every now and then with a Q-tip and some alcohol so that it doesn't get too nasty. I'll show a picture of one of them here. And, I ride through sleet, through snow, through crappy weather, all sorts of garbage stuff, and it still looks decent because it is very overrated for what I'm using it for. And that just seems appropriate given that that's the part that is going to be, one of the most dangerous, which is related to charging. That's where you were dealing with higher amperages, higher voltages, lithium-ion batteries. That's where you want it to be beefed up, right? And again, I'm not an electric vehicle designer. I'm a MacBook repairman, and I know that. Now, let's look at the high-quality, advanced testing, robust, bloody corporate wankery that they have inside of their one-wheel scooters. Because if they are designing these systems that they are the only ones that are fit to fix, they're the only ones that are fit to do something because they're the only ones that knew how to do it safely, surely the systems that they're designing are designed to be able to be charged and not burn, right? Yeah, about that. So this is about the one-wheel pint. Am I screwed? And if you take a look at it, there are many examples of this across the internet. And if you ask independent repair technicians of the one-wheel boards, this is very common. So you can charge it at normal speed, or you can charge it at a faster speed. And the faster speed is not something that is unsupported. It's not something they say will void your warranty. It's not something they say you can't do with the product. It's a supported use of the product, and in spite of the fact that it's a supported use of the product, this is what it looks like. I shit you not, this does not look like something that belongs inside of an electric vehicle charging board. This looks like something that belongs on an A1150 MacBook Pro's inverter board for powering its tiny little LCD screen. That looks like a fan connector on a laptop. That looks like an inverter board connector on a laptop. What is that doing being used for charging an electric vehicle? This makes no sense whatsoever. Now, if the company truly cared about your safety rather than their own bottom line, I'm confident that what we would find is that they have recalled this product, they have asked every single customer to send it back to them, paid for their shipping both ways, and replaced that board with one that uses a connector that's actually suitable for something other than a fucking A1181 MacBook fan. Have they done that? No. Why? Because they don't give two shits of a fuck about safety. That is an excuse to be able to control what you do with the product, to control who fixes the product, and above all, to control who makes money off of fixing the product. They don't care about safety. You realize they're putting together the product in a way where it literally is burning on the inside, and they're telling you that the reason that they have to do the repair instead of you is because you're probably too stupid to and you may mess it up. Because there is such a danger of fire, they're the only ones that are uniquely qualified to fix it, yet they're the ones who are designing it in a way where the connector is literally burning itself on the inside. You understand why I call this a corporate shit test at this point. They are shit testing you. They want to see if you will tolerate these ridiculous, asinine, garbage, BS excuses as to why it is they need to have control over what you do with what you own that do not stand up to scrutiny in any way, shape, or form. Oh, okay. You're not convinced. Okay, fine. Let's continue. This is another reason that it is really difficult to have only one repair shop doing this when this is an international business that sells these products internationally. Remember, they have one service center in the United States that you have to send all of their products back to because it will literally brick itself if you try to replace the battery outside of that service center. And they have had issues before where people are having issues with shipping and whatnot, getting it back into the U.S. You know why they have so many issues with shipping when they are returning products to customers or having customers ship them to them? It's because they're not declaring the products as hazardous or dangerous, which is what you're supposed to do when you're shipping a gigantic lithium-ion battery. One of the things you may notice is that if you try to ship a gigantic lithium-ion battery, that it costs considerably more money because those batteries are considered hazardous or dangerous, and FedEx requires you to declare it as such. And one of the interesting things is that people have been figuring out that they are actually, they have an embargo against them where they're not able to ship with FedEx because they have not been declaring them as such. And this is interesting. Thank you very much to Max for sending this to me. Dropped off my dead on arrival GT at FedEx today and got a call later from FedEx saying I need to come back and pick up the package. FedEx said that the shipper's account is under embargo for shipping undeclared hazardous materials. Some back and forth between Future Motion and FedEx, and now they say I don't need to go get it. However, tracking shows it hasn't left the facility I dropped it off at. There's currently an embargo on shipping returns to One Wheel in Canada, at least, because they were telling customers to black out the dangerous goods markings on the boxes before return because the paperwork, etc., they were sending did not account for it. So the paperwork they were sending, in order for you to get a shipping label and everything and send it and all the customs documentation, did not account for it. So rather than fix that, which would actually cost them money or time, and allow the shipper to properly classify your shipment so that they knew it was batteries, which is, by the way, the safe thing to do when you're shipping giant batteries, they just said, yeah, we're just going to forget about all that until the point that FedEx says, you know what, we're not screwing with you anymore. This company doesn't care about your safety. None of these companies that claim that they care about safety and security when they tell you that the reason you're not allowed to work on your own products because you're too stupid and we're too advanced care about your safety. I could go on for days and days and days. I'm actually going to be visiting a one-wheel repair shop in New Hampshire in the next week or two, and we're going to have a nice good old time sitting down talking about all these different issues, and it's going to be fun because there are a bunch of them. There are endless examples of this in every single industry. None of these companies give two shits of a fuck about your safety or your security. What they care about is selling more product, having more control over what you do with the product, and making more money off of it. And here's the thing. I don't have a problem with a company that just wants to make money. I also want to make money. My company loves making money. I need to make money and I need to make a good profit so that the 12 people working out there can actually continue to have jobs so that I can continue to have a halfway decent lifestyle. This is not something that I hide the ball on. However, it's about how you want to make your money. I want to make my money by people showing up because they believe that we are truly the best option, because they've researched all the options and they decided that they would like to give money to me, not because they feel like they were forced. I show you how we do all of our repairs on YouTube and I don't leave anything out. There are many people that compete with us that have watched our videos for free and started their competing repair shops less than a mile from here off of watching those videos. I don't want to be the only one doing this. I want everybody to be able to do this, but for them to be coming here because they believe that we are one of the best choices. And when it comes to this, I'll be honest with you about why I do the things that I do. What they are doing is they're not being honest. If they came out and said, listen, We want control over the product. We need this as a revenue stream. I'm not saying I would agree with their actions, but I could at least have a modicum more respect for them than them just coming out with this garbage dumpster fire bullshit that we care about safety and all of this when they're producing a product that has connectors literally burning inside because they are using what looks like laptop fan connectors for charging circuitry on a personal electric vehicle. Everybody wants to make money. It's not just about wanting to make money. It is about how you make your money that matters. Because you have a lot of people nowadays that say things like just the profit motive in general is a bad thing. And I kind of think that goes a little too far. I love making profits and I love making money. But I love making money in a way that allows me to sleep at night. And part of the reason that I could sleep at night is because I'm honest about what my business model is. I'm honest about how I want to make my money. And I'm honest about how I do the repairs that I do. I don't leave anything out. I don't pretend that this is way harder or more difficult than it is. I also don't pretend that certain things are way easier than they are. I want you to understand the entire process, and I'm not bullshitting you any step of the way. Of course people want to make money. And the people in my comments say, Louis, you just want to make money too? Obviously I do. But I want to make money in a manner where I don't feel like I'm screwing people. Remember that we live in a world where farmers used to work on their own tractors, which weigh over 10,000 pounds. Remember that we live in a world where you can change the brakes in your driveway of your 6,000-pound truck and then immediately right after go 70 miles an hour on the highway, and that is completely, utterly, totally legal. And we've accepted that in our culture for damn near 100 years. They're trying to turn back the clock 100 or 200 or 300 years and just erase all of that history and get you to believe that the world is this crazily dangerous place and that they are the only ones that are fit to uniquely protect you, when at the end of the day, when it comes time to design a product, this is the way they design the charging circuit in their products. The fact that they believe that they're the only ones that should be able to service their product are an absolute shitpost. And to accept anything less than a full 180 on these policies with an apology and an explanation and an update to the firmware of the boards of people who bought that thing when it was not repairable is unacceptable. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you believe that Future Motion actually cares about your safety and security, or do you believe that this is all just a pile of garbage so that they can control their revenue stream and control what you do with the product that you gave them over $2,000 for? That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.